Hello, everybody. This is Football Site. Can I coach Mike?
It is Sarge!
And man, I tell you, it's never boring when it comes to the Washington Commanders, and we are in the midst of training camp. So much excitement out there to be
Ooh,
had and to be looking for. And I
ooh.
tell you what, Lord Sarge, I am so excited that pads are starting to come on. People are starting to get like amped up. People are like ready to go. It's like football is back, baby.
Man, pads are on today. Pads are on today. That's the start of the season.
Man, I tell you, because before that, OTAs and stuff like that, went out there playing touch and stuff like that. It's like flag football, man. It's like not
Yeah.
real.
No.
Yeah, now all of a sudden they start putting some pads on. It starts being like, oh man, this is like
Popping
football.
each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
popping each other. Throw my house.
thump a little bit.
Popping each other.
Yes, I had a chance to watch a lot of the interviews and stuff like that, and you can tell even Coach Quinn is out there just like, you know what, until you put pads on, people can't really work on real techniques.
That's right.
Like the inner lines can't really work on things right. You're just out there like playing patty cake. But when you put pads on, you can actually start really kind of going through something,
Yeah.
start talking some.
You don't get any practice and you start hitting someone.
You got to take a thump here and there.
Yeah.
And they start off slow because it's a building up. It's not a tearing down process. This is about building up and get a little bit more into it. So with that being said, we're going to get into it ourselves. Here we go. Top 3 topics that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the status of Terry McLaurin, and there's some other receivers that are stepping up in his absence on the field. So welcome, Jeff. Welcome, Jim. Like to see you guys on. We're also going to talk about the new proposal of the stadium. There's been some hog swaggling, like you usually say there, Lord Sarge, going on with the stadium. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some of the interesting change-ups that is happening to the projected depth chart and risers and fallers and different things like this about some of the things that I've kind of extracted to what some of the coaches are saying. So it's going to be an interesting show tonight. What you're going to hear tonight, you're not going to hear on too many other channels. This is also a place where you can participate. So put your comments in the comment section because we want to hear from you. First thing up, training camp, like I said, is underway. We're all moving towards the first preseason game, which will be August 8th. Can you believe that? Like, that's right around the corner.
That is less than 2 weeks away.
That is like crazy. And we're going to
Friday night, right? That's a Friday night. Wait a minute. I got to look at this. That's a Friday night.
Yeah. It's not Sunday games. They always do them like on a Friday or a Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Guess where my butt is? Popcorn, beer, and a couch.
There you go.
Yeah.
August 8th is a week from this coming Friday. We're going to have football where they're going to be going at it with the New England Patriots.
Oh, man.
In related news, Terry McLaurin has reported at camp, but he's not practicing. He's saying his situation's day to day. Now, you're up there at the DC area, Large Sarge. What are they saying up there about Scary Terry?
Well, first of all, folks, we apologize. Shaq ain't here because there was an entire ground stop across the entire nation on flights today, and he got caught up in it. So he's not back in town till about 8:30 tonight. But he did have the time to send us a post saying, we finally got some numbers. And here's what Scary Terry wants. He turned down $33 million. 33.
Yeah, 33. And I'll tell you where the 33 number came from. I think we talked about it previously on the show that like his overall market value is about 31.5. That's up over 25.5, which he's due to make this year on the final year of his previous contract. So 31.5 is his fair market value based off of where he's projected off of it. However, the number that he's looking at is a number that exceeds the number of Metcalf, who signed a $33 million deal. Yep. And their numbers are similar. So even $33 million is around the right number. And he wants to actually get paid more than that because he thinks he's going to outperform, DJ Metcalf. That being said, part of the reason why he thinks that he's worth more is because they made it to the NFC Championship game. And he believes that that he has the ability to bring this team to a Super Bowl. It's a lot of like assumptions built into determining a market value that's higher than what you want. But players want to sometimes get paid more than other players because they think they're worth more than other players. When they see other players and what they make, they're just like, I'm worth that. I'm worth more than that. And that's where things get complicated. The $33 million deal is also very important because $33 million is technically what the Commanders can afford after the Von Miller deal that was done. We were at $21 million of available cap space. And based off of that, if you take the Von Miller $6.1 million that he's due this coming year, that leaves you roughly around $8 million to play with. And if you take $8 million and you add it on to 25.5, what does that get you? It gets you 33 million. So you can fit this contract within that amount, because what that will leave the Commanders with is what every team feels is like the adequate buffer zone to go into a season, which is approximately $7 million as injuries hit that you can sign replacement players, and you have room to blow it. You don't really want to get into that buffer because you put your team at financial risk.
Yep.
So the Commanders are literally asking what they can that's also above his market value, that's comparable to DJ Metcalf. There's so many things that say 33 is the number, that to offer 33 is a great position to be. And the fact that he turned that down now puts the Commanders in a very precarious situation, because they either now have to take additional money in the out years to pay him, guarantee him more money and to try to appease him, which complicates things, right? You can't not really ask them more money this year because now you're going to tap into their safety buffer. So, I mean, I really hate that this situation is dragging on. If they're not close, they got to start looking at other options if they're not close. Otherwise, they need to find a way to get this deal done. And right now, I don't like the way it's sitting, because I really think 33 is like the top number that you can get them in a year.
So Jeff chimed in.
And your camera just went out on us, Large Sarge.
Oh man, not again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me see if I can get back on here.
There you go.
So Jeff just chimed in.
Screen.
Yeah. Jeff just chimed in that we're gonna have a green screen here for a little bit until I can X out. So Jeff just chimed in saying ESPN said pay him what he wants. I disagree. Trade his butt. Get us some draft capital. Trade him. He's gone. History. I don't care if he shows up with he's in training camp shaking hands with an ankle injury. Trade him. He's 30. Trade him.
It's a tough situation, right? Because if you trade him, he goes and does well somewhere else, you're going to have egg all over your face, and it's not good for the coaching staff that could potentially get fired.
Fine.
Right?
Who cares?
And the next coaching staff will take those draft picks that you earned and build a new team out of it. He's a fan favorite. He's been a face of the franchise. I did not think, like, at the $33 million price tag, especially anybody who knows anything whatsoever about salary caps and the situations that happens, to know like 33 is pretty much where the Commanders can afford. And oh, by the way, that still exceeds his overall value and all those types of things. When you look at all of those things combined, it's very, very difficult for them to kind of say, no, I don't think the offer is good enough. What is his number? Like, it's not going to be 40. It can't be 35. I mean, what is the number? Like, what is it going to take to make this guy happy and get him in uniform? I really don't know what that number is going to be. But I will tell you what, Terry McLaurin, what I didn't know is that he's dealing with an ankle injury. That was news to me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that he has an ankle issue. Apparently that lingered over from last year. And oh, by the way, we're several months removed. Like, how bad is this ankle injury?
Right. So here's a guy with an ankle injury that can't show up to camp because he ain't ready, asking for a $10 million pay raise. Hell no! No!
The thing is this late into the game, there's not going to be a lot of options out there that are going to be, real pretty. If you can't get a deal done with your client at this point, somebody's going to come in and try to lowball you and take them out from underneath you. And I don't think that's going to work.
Jeff
So,
says trade is overpaid buttocks.
so I will tell you, like, what I would do. I would invite his agent to our facility, and I'd lock the doors. And he ain't going home until we work out a deal.
Yeah,
Nobody's going home until they work a freaking complete lockdown. That's what I would
wear
do.
Wear him out with time without his agent. Reginald Williams is on tonight. Reggie, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you,
we
Reg.
love having you on, dude. He says we'll get him signed, but I think he's looking for 65 to 70 million guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a lot, because that tips into the third year, right?
Yeah,
So if you're getting paid 33 million a year and the next 2 years guaranteed, okay. But when you start getting guaranteed money to that third year, which is probably a avoidable year, especially if you can't perform anymore, you want to have an out that doesn't hurt your team, right? So that's where things get very, very tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I see Shaq on there too, wanting a lot more money. I get it. I'd like to believe that a deal is imminent, that they're going to get this deal done soon. This can't linger on but another couple of days, I would think. Either way, he's not playing August 8th. They're going to bubble wrap him.
Yep.
So, we're not going to see him on the field in the near term anyway.
Disgusting. Just disgusting.
If we see him at all, he might play a quarter in game 2 of the preseason.
That is just disgusting.
He might play the first
for that much money. I want this guy on the field. I want him in all preseason games. I want to see 4 quarters of him playing. I want him healthy.
Yeah, you can't risk him you can't risk him getting
way too much money. I agree with Shaq. This is ridiculous. Trade McLaurin.
I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll try to get a deal done. I just like to see that it get close. I mean, from what I hear is the team wants him. From what I hear is he wants the team. It's just that they disagree on what his real market value is. I really think $33 million should have got the deal done. I'm shocked. I'm actually appalled a little bit that this deal's not signed.
Yeah, that's an $8 million pay raise. And how much would be guaranteed there, Coach?
Well, we don't know. That's the underlying part. I haven't seen those numbers, but I guarantee you, kind of like what Reginald said on here, it's probably a high number, and they probably disagree on how much guaranteed money we're talking about. So, and I agree with Shaq. His actual value is $31.5 million. So 33 is more, and $1.5 million more. How many people out there wouldn't mind just the 1.5 million? Shoot. I'll take that.
I mean, if
all right. So
here,
in the meantime,
he wants to be on the team, then he needs to compromise in the middle. We get what we want. We pay more. He gets what he wants. He gets more. Come to an agreement. If you really want to be here, stop the BS. Terry McLaurin, you're on the bottom of my heel right now, buddy. Seriously.
All right. So other wide receivers are stepping up, and there's a couple of players right now to watch. I will tell you the hottest name in camp right now in that receiving core is Jalen Lane. Yeah. I'm telling you, everybody's gushing over this kid. He is like the slot receiver who is just catching everything. And like Jaden Daniels' timing with Jalen is like off the hook. I want to show you a video here.
It's spot on. Yeah, it's crazy. Woo! Look at that, Dennis! Look at that jump! Look at that over Stanistra! Yeah. He's giving him love. You gotta love it when Stanistra gives you love.
Yeah. So Sinistra was in coverage there. He was double covered on that play. And in the back of the end zone, Jaden Daniel hooks up with him. I mean, what a spectacular catch from the young rook. Just going in there and taking advantage of his opportunities. turning heads. You got to love that.
Now I have
The
to
other
say,
thing of a surprising news happens to be your guy, Luke Skywalker.
all right, let's talk about Luke.
First of all, look at that photo.
Oh
That
yeah,
dude is looking buff. Last year, he looked like a 12-year-old kid.
he's looking a
In
little
the off
stronger.
season, that dude hit the gym, man.
Yeah.
And we got to hear a little bit about it right here.
I think it was nice not having to prepare for a combine, for the Senior Bowl, for all that stuff. So just get an off season to kind of buy into the weight room, buy into speed training, and go from there.
One thing I noticed that they had you doing last year, man, they were working you in the slot as well as outside. How different is the mental load this time around now that you kind of know both positions and you're not having to think as much?
It's awesome. It's nice just knowing the playbook, going through everything, second, third. I mean, even fourth time if you count OTA's camp. So it's been a blast, and then just having fun competing with everybody out here. It's been cool. We have a great DB room, great receiver room, so it's a lot of fun to come to work every day.
From year one to year two, what do you think is like the biggest improvement you've made?
I think there's so many little things that add up to big things. I don't know if there's a specific thing, but I think the off season's for getting bigger, stronger, faster. Now it's for honing into your technique, honing into your craft.
I think he's got bigger,
just making
stronger,
sure you're dialed there.
There's a picture obviously that went viral. I think it was you, Christian, and Bijan Robinson. You looked like the second biggest guy in that picture. You've definitely worked it in the weight room. Having a guy here like Von Miller that takes care of his body, super impressively. Zach Ertz on the offensive side of the ball taking care of his body. How have you been able to pick their brain in terms of that aspect?
Yeah, I think AP and DQ were very intentional with who they brought in. And we brought in a lot of vets, but a lot of vets who've done it right for a lot of years. And it's cool playing with them.
All right. So you got a chance to hear a little bit from Luke McCaffrey. I will tell you what, one of the things that I've seen off of that and a lot of the interviews is he got stronger. He put more meat on his bones, and they actually think he's a little bit faster. So that could be a freaking crazy combination. And so the reason why you want to look at these two is because these are two guys that if they start working in the slot positions or they start putting them around the field, lining them up, because I tell you right now, Deebo Samuel is going to be all over the field.
Mm-hmm.
That there's going to be so many different interesting combinations of targets for Jaden Daniels. I think it'll make some fun things to watch.
Yeah,
and both these two can play special teams.
Yep. All right, Luke, I have a comment for you. I appreciate your interview, buddy. But you need to get a dadgum haircut. Go like this. You'll get 1 second faster. You'll be 2 seconds faster.
2 seconds faster if you get a little
hair.
dynamic.
Get rid of the wind resistance. Get a little more speed. That speed counts.
Hey, he's wearing a helmet, dude.
On the Jalen Lane catch, it's amazing. Jaden Daniels, what are you doing throwing a double coverage in the corner of the end zone on a rookie? Really? Yeah, it worked. Great. It's practice. Try that in the real game. Not a good pass. Sorry. Bad call. He made it. Right. And that's what's amazing about Jaden. He put the ball on the dime. That's what's amazing about him. Woo, boy, watch the intercepts go up this year.
Yeah, I hope not, because we always hear about those second-year slumps. We certainly don't want that for Jaden Daniels. If we're going to do anything this year, we got to really step up. Now, some interesting news since we're talking about wide receivers. Good old Santana Moss is going to be inducted into Washington's Ring of Fame during the season opener. I tell you what, I love me some number 89. His favorite signal every time he made a catch.
Yeah.
And I love Santana Moss, number 89. I tell you what, he is one of my favorite receivers of all time on this team.
Yeah.
And to see him get the Washington Ring of Fame is going to be cool. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to when this new stadium ultimately gets built and it's a Redskins / Commanders Ring of Fame, because I know there's some alumni players that when they were Redskins, they want to be known as Redskins and not Commanders.
Right.
And so with my love for you, Santana Moss, I put a nice little Redskins logo on there for you, baby. And I'm proud of you. I'm looking forward to that. We need to try to be in that game.
Shaq is saying the Kingsbury playbook's in question. Shaq, I'm going to challenge you. No, it's not. It is the ultimate Kingsbury playbook. He has every weapon now that he always wanted in Arizona that he didn't have. And now he's got it all. He's got the QB, he's got the receivers. This is going to be the air raid offense on steroids this year.
And I tell you what, if it works and it's as effective as you believe it's going to be, Lard Sarge, this will be the last year he'll be our offensive coordinator because he'll get a head coaching job somewhere else.
Yeah, someone will snag him, right? And then he'll fall because he doesn't have the balls for it.
And so
he'll fail.
I think he'll do really well, and I think this might be our last year of him being our offensive coordinator. So we might as well enjoy it.
We make the playoffs, yeah. I think it's a real possibility he's gone, right? If we don't, which we're all predicting, we're all predicting only a wild card shot. That's all we're predicting, right? We haven't gotten to our schemes this year yet. It's all that stuff's coming up, folks. Where you're going to see our predictions for each division for the year and how the teams are shaking out. We're going to go through all of that stuff. However, I'm telling you, they built this team around they strengthened the offense. So we scored even more points. And they think they've added to the D to stop the run. So we'll see how that happens.
All right, moving on. It appears that the new stadium deal is imminent to getting done. That vote is the 1st of August. The original agreement, as you can see on the left side of that chart, was very, very considered somewhat lopsided. And the biggest complaint from the city council of DC to get this thing job was tax revenue. That there would be zero tax revenue for the district who is expected to give up $1 billion. And the counter argument to that was, well, we're going to build up the whole area, so you're going to get a lot of tax money in a lot of different areas. That wasn't sufficient to get the deal done. After a lot of negotiation, bringing a lot of mediators and a lot of smart people to the table to try to get some compromises done, the improved deal is to the right. So taxes on some of the revenue changed a little bit, as you can see. There's going to be a parking tax that gets included of 18% that will go to the city, and $414 million in tax revenue over 30 years for the district. Now, with the other improved areas around there, the overall number exceeds $1 billion. Some people are saying in the $3 to $4 billion range, which is a pretty darn good return on your investment for the city. You invest $1 billion, you get $3 or $4 billion in return.
It's not bad.
So it's not a bad.
If it happens.
If it happens, right?
It's a good deal.
So, and the other thing that's really, really good about this, that I think that's lost in the argument, is the city doesn't give up the real estate. When they build a stadium, the city will maintain the land. I think that's very, very important for people who want to crap on this deal. The Commanders are not getting the land in the district. They're building a stadium on an area that's considered, quote unquote, leased land, even though that they're not paying a lease, right? They're going to follow the rest of the revenue profit sharing agreements as you see on this slide, but it's for a 30-year deal, after which time is up. The Commanders, or whatever we're called then, can change to another facility or build another stadium and come up with a new deal. So at the end of this is what the city's going to get, and they still own the land. I think it's very, very important.
Yeah, I think that's important. DC needs to make that kind of statement. This improved deal, I think, might make it past. I really do. I agree with Shaq.
I think this one's going to get done.
Yeah.
I think that they've answered all of the.
It's a little bit of pain up front, but it's a really big win in the end if it works, right?
And I think it's a win for both sides. I think for the Commanders, getting our stadium back in DC is a win. Revitalizing the area is a win. Knowing that the city can recover its tax revenue is a win. To create more jobs, make that area nicer, because let's face it, right now it's predominantly unused land that just looks like crap. In the district. So it does beef it up a little bit there, and but we'll see, right? It also has some road highway enhancements as well as metro improvements, which I think is also good for the district. So we'll see. Looking at this as face value, the improved proposal, in my opinion, I think it's a compromise on both sides. I think both teams walk away with a little bit of like, we didn't get everything we want, which usually tells you it's a good deal, right? So that's the way I look at that. All right, let's move on here. Anybody got any comments out there, Large Sarge, on this stadium deal?
Yeah, Shaq is like taxpayers are going to still feel it. So I'm typing him back here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with Shaq on that, but like, there's but I don't think that they're initially going to see a huge tax increase. I think what they're going to do is they're going to get the tax revenue, the money that they have for the city, and they're going to get it off of loans. And then they're going to use the tax revenue that they get from the city, from the stadium to pay off the loans. So I think it'll reduce the burden on the city, because let's face it, and Shaq, you know this, DC's practically broke.
Yeah.
They need federal subsidies just to keep things, and
Shaq's going to have to sell his house. He's going to have to move. He's going to have to buy one of those new 6,000 homes they're putting in there. He's going to have to buy one of those, sell his house where he's at now, move over there.
Yeah, if you can afford one.
Yeah.
It might be expensive property over there.
Oh my God. I don't even want to think about it.
It might be stupid expensive. So anyway.
So Jack is asking, what news did we have over the weekend there, Coach?
Say again?
Jack is asking, what news did we have over the weekend?
About what?
About the Rams. About the Commanders!
We've been talking about this whole show. What are we talking about here? I love Jack. Like, that's the big news is Scary Terry getting his contract.
McLaurin showed up with an ankle injury.
Yeah, he showed up with an ankle injury.
And he's trying to negotiate an overpriced contract with an ankle injury. Not a good position to negotiate from. Not a position of strength.
So, but we are going to talk about some other interesting things, right? So right now, I'm showing you the offense, and we're going to talk about defense now, because there's some interesting things that are developing that are changing up this lineup. All right. The first thing that I want to show you on here is the wide receiver situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right now, they have Noah Brown listed on the outside of Scary Terry. Now, they're both in red because they're both dealing with injuries. Noah Brown's injury is not serious. He's fine. He's out there. He's working back in. Terry McLaurin's issue does not seem to be very bad with an ankle. He's out there walking around, high-fiving people and signing autographs. So I don't think either one of these injuries is a big deal at all. They're just taking precautions, and they're going to get it going. But what it does allow is it allows other people an opportunity to step up and practice. It allows Debo a chance to get used to this offense. It allows Jalen Lane to really get a lot of reps along with Luke McCaffrey. And then I've heard another name that's kind of emerged off of that is KJ Osborne, who's 28 years old, and I don't think is going to make this roster anyway. But it gives some of these other guys more reps to kind of showcase some of their skills. But there has been a complete mix-up on the offensive line, as predicted, right? So because of Tunzel coming in, we always knew that Brandon Coleman was going to move in a different position. Now, I said it several weeks ago that I believe that he was going to plug in at left guard. That has been official now. Brandon Coleman will be the starting left guard the way it's currently planned right now. So, like, they must have been listening to us on the show, but they're doing it. Badass stays the same. Now, the big deal is what happened to Allegretti, who lost his left guard position. They're saying on this sheet that he's being moved to the backup right guard. I don't believe that that's true. Right now, I would still say he's probably the backup left guard. Nate Herbig is there, who's going to be competing right along with him. The person that you're going to want to watch at that right guard position is probably Nate Herbig, but don't be surprised if they don't put Trent Scott over there, if they don't also look at Josh Connerly there. Josh Connerly will ultimately be the right tackle when he beats Andrew Wiley out. Until Josh Connerly is ready, he's not going to assume the position. If he is ready, then they're going to move Wiley to the right guard position. So this lineup is not set, but it's good to have options. I will tell you, I like that Michael Dieter is there as well. So just continue to watch this group, and don't count Chris Paul out either, because he looks pretty good too. These guys are all going to be competing, especially for that right guard position, until Sam Cosmi comes back from his injury.
Now, Shaq is screaming at the top of his lungs here on text. He's screaming. He wants to talk about Ja'Cory Brooks.
Who?
Ja'Cory Brooks.
Ja'Cory Brooks. What about Ja'Cory Brooks?
We got to discuss him because he's been on the roster. That's his position.
Okay. I mean, we could. I mean, I tell you what, Ja'Cory Brooks is a freakish athlete. There's a chance that they can do that. And is there potential for him to make this roster? Yeah. If Michael Gallup doesn't make it, if KJ Osborne doesn't make it, this team's going to probably carry 6 wide receivers. A 7th one, if you take a shortage somewhere else, that also plays special teams.
You think he's going to be the kickoff return guy?
Returns. Jalen Lane can do returns. Luke McCaffrey can do returns. So there's a possibility. But if Ja'Cory Brooks, he's going to have to shine. Otherwise, I would say he's an extremely strong candidate to make the practice squad.
So you think because Luke seems to be moving up into the rotation on offense instead of special teams, you think Ja'Cory could move to special teams receiving?
It's possible, but I have not heard his name being mentioned in special teams play. I mean, we're early in the training camp process. The only names I've heard in special teams so far that have been rotating out on returns right now is Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, and Deebo Samuel.
Nah. All right. I got to give a shout out to Jeff. He says, trade Terry. I agree. Trade him right now while he's hot, and he's got a broken ankle.
He does not have a broken ankle.
He got a broken ankle.
It is not broken.
It's broke. He's decrepit at 30 years old. Trade him.
And I don't know what you do with your camera, but your camera sucks, man.
Yeah, it does.
You need to get your sucky camera freaking replaced, man.
I don't know. Every time I touch my microphone, my camera goes out.
All right. I will tell you that Brian Robinson apparently is looking strong, which, he's running for his career right now. If he wants to have anything future go with that. Zach Ertz says he's out there and his timing's been impeccable. I guess he's racing against the old age clock, but he's out there. Apparently he's looking good. So there's a lot of positive reports here offensively. I will tell you, one of the guys that I've been trying to get news on badly is Ben Sinnott. I haven't seen anything out there on him, but I'm going to keep my eyes out on him. I think we'll keep our eyes out for Ja'Cory Brooks, like Shaq says. And another person I'm really keeping my eyes on to kind of see what he does is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the running back thing, because even on this depth chart, they have him squeaking ahead of Chris Rodriguez, which is interesting. Yeah. And we'll see how well they do when preseason really starts.
Yeah,
I expect him to get a lot of carries in preseason.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. They need to find out what they have going on the running game for sure. It's an unknown.
So there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of interesting dynamics with this offense that's going to keep people guessing. And I tell you, it doesn't change any different with the defense. I want to show you what's happening here on defense. And I really investigated. I did my investigative reporting from somebody who's not an investigative reporter, because you know how I like doing that. And I found some interesting news about what's going on with this defensive line. Some things that it was just an interesting perspective I hadn't heard before. All right. I want you to look at the players. Look at the first 8 players on the defensive line. I want everybody to take a look at that. All right. Armstrong, Payne, Kinslaw, Miller, Weiss, Newton, Goldman, Farrell. If you look at the players that are in blue, those are the returning players, the players that are in blue. Armstrong, Payne, Newton, and Farrell. Those were also the starters last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When Jonathan Allen got hurt, Newton took over the starting role, and he never gave it up. Farrell pretty much played on the right end position the entire year. All right. Armstrong played on the other side. That pretty much was our starting lineup. We went out and we got 4 key players off there you see in orange. Dietrich Wise, who people are like, well, who's that? All right. Eddie Goldman, they're like, oh, I kind of remember him in his Chicago days, but he never really panned out as much as we thought. Then you had Javon Kinlaw, who we gave a big contract to, and everybody's like, why? And then we went out and got Von Miller, and everybody's just like, man, he's old. Man, he's like already done. Like, why would you sign him? And so I started going like, there's got to be a reason behind this. Like, what is Adam Peters doing? What is Dan Quinn doing? What is going on with these guys? And I came across an interesting report, and I started comparing that to PPF ratings. The first thing is it's very, very easy to beat up all four of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very easy to beat up Von Miller, Javon Kinlaw, Eddie
100%.
Goldman, and Jedrick Wise.
Yep.
If most people who don't do their homework on this, or the average fan will go like, why did we sign any of these guys?
Yep.
It makes no sense.
That's
Right?
me. That's
Until
me.
you get into the analytics. And you know how analytics are. Analytics could be a scary thing because sometimes analytics can be very misleading. And other times it gives you an insight on maybe this is what they're thinking. Maybe this is why they went the direction that they did. And when you have to investigate, when you're really searching for answers, when you're trying to put your own opinions in the garbage can and you're trying to say, why? And I really want to know why. Why did we do this? I'm going to tell you the reason why they did this. Because this defensive line had a significant weakness that ranked them 31st in the league last year, and it was on run stop. On run stop, we ranked 31st in the league. And most of y'all remember this because Saquon Barkley, in the 3 times we played the Philadelphia Eagles, we gave up 200 yards per game against Saquon Barkley, which included the NFC Championship game. There was no way we were going to win that game because we couldn't stop nothing.
Yep.
Not to mention that Saquon Barkley, we helped him become a Madden 99 rated player in this coming year's Madden edition. And he's going to be on the cover of Madden, right?
Be on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
So here we're in a position where I'm just like, why these guys? It's because of how high they're rated in run defense. So I have a feeling
PFF on the run is pretty high. Yeah.
the PF on the run on all these guys is extremely high. Javon Kinlaw is the highest rated defensive tackle on run stopping. You want to know who the next highest one is? Eddie Goldman. I'm like, what? Eddie Goldman? Yes. Eddie Goldman, that dude never lived up to his sack potential, ever. Everybody's just like, this guy's going to be a sack leader. When he came to Chicago, everybody's just like, this guy's going to be a beast, man. He's going to be like the next Bruce Smith, blah, blah, blah. Never panned out. But there's one thing that Eddie Goldman's good at. That dude will tackle. He will stop a runner. And you know what? Kinlaw, the same kind of way in the Jets. His biggest thing, his biggest knack. Oh, he's going to be this dynamic pass rusher. It didn't pan out. But you know what he does?
No.
Run stop.
Yep.
Von Miller, that dude, the older he gets, the less he's effective at the pass rush, but he's still a sack leader in the NFL. That dude has a freaking gazillion sacks, right? But he's slowing down in his old
sorry,
age.
Coach. I got to stop you right there. No.
Don't
hell
stop
no.
me yet. Let me finish my roll and then stop me. All right. Von Miller, he still doesn't quite have the pass rush that he used to, even though he's the sack leader, He slowed down a lot on that. But you know what hasn't slowed down? His run stop. Jedrick Wise isn't known for anything other than his ability to run stop. So what I think is going to happen in order to keep these guys fresh, I think, even though you see the lineup here, and then I'll let you speak there, Large Sarge, is you're going to see on some prominent running downs where they're like tearing us up in the run, you're going to see Weiss, Goldman, Kinlaw, and Miller on the field a little bit. Now, you got to watch Miller because I think Farrell's going to get a majority of the snaps to keep Von Miller fresh because you want Von Miller also in on certain passing downs. But here's what's going to happen on passing downs. All right, Deron Payne's going to come in with Johnny Newton. If it's third down, you might see Von Miller in there, swapping in and out with Farrell. And Armstrong's definitely going to be there on passing downs.
Yeah.
Right. And by rotating these guys in and out of these positions, they believe if coached up right, you're going to have a nice blend of being able to stop the run and also putting pressure on the pass rush. That's the idea and that's the plan. I'm not saying I'm sold on it. I'm just saying that to all my reporting that I have, this is the best explanation I have for these guys.
Yeah, I would agree with you. All right, let's get to some questions. So Shaq is wanting to ask, how on earth on the offense did Amos get put second? Then Jack, that's the first question. Then, of course, Jeff's saying Barkley's still going to run all over us, but we're going to miss Fowler, and I'm going to agree. So what is your first comment to why is Amos still on the second tier?
Because he doesn't know the playbook yet. He's a rookie. He doesn't know the playbook.
Okay.
Now, here's where I believe that's going to happen. They're not going to just give him the job, right? Do I believe he can beat out Jonathan Jones for the outside corner spot? 100%. I do believe that Trey Amos is going to beat him out. But this is the beginning of training camp, guys. You got to let the process happen. One thing I don't agree with, I don't believe in just letting rookies come in and take over.
Yeah, no, they got to earn their spot, right? They got to
you got to earn it. You got to come in and show us what you got.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I've heard a lot of reports on Trey Amos, and he's doing really well. Like over the past couple of days, he's showing up. He's doing everything he is. He's looked sharp. He's getting kudos from the coaching staff. So I don't think it'll be long if he keeps it up. And don't be surprised if he's the week 1 starter. I believe that Mike Sinistro is going to be the nickelback in this 4-2-5 defense.
Yeah.
So I do believe the outside corners is going to be Trey Amos and Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably rotate in Jonathan Jones in there. Right? So that's what I think is going to happen.
Shaq is saying we should have let Jaden Daniels sit last year, and we should have let Newton sit. Come on, man.
Man.
Shaq is on. Shaq must be angry because he misses flight.
So what was the other question that he asked? He asked another question besides Trey Amos.
No, that was only him. That was the only thing he had. It was Jack and Jeff talking about we're gonna miss Fowler. Now, I agree with you. This is a situational football team. That's how they're building the defense. They've got their run stoppers in there. Now we've got a better run defense, and they have a potential edge rush when they need it if everyone stays healthy. Yeah.
So let me tell you about Fowler. I want to tell you a couple points about Fowler, and then I know everybody sees
Fowler didn't want to be with us.
Yeah, that's the first one. Is he didn't want to be here. He wanted to go back to Dallas. He enjoyed his 1 year here, but he wanted to go home. And so at the end of the day, he has a vote, right? We signed him to a 1 year contract. His 1 year contract was up, and he goes, I want to go home. So you got to respect the guy for wanting to go home, right? Let him go back to Dallas where he was. And I know the number that we look at is 10.5 sacks, and I get that. Do I believe that any of these guys are going to make up for the 10.5 sacks alone? Nope. I don't.
It could happen.
It could.
We don't believe it. Yeah.
Von Miller hasn't done it in a few years. Dedrick Wise is not going to do it. Clelin Ferrell can't do it. Armstrong can't even freaking do it. We don't have a guy that can get double-digit sacks on this team, right? From the outside, right? Von Miller did it in his career before, but that was 4 or 5 years ago. He's not that player.
Before his ACL and before.
But here, let me tell you something about the bad part about Dante Fowler that people don't talk about because everybody's so mesmerized and hypnotized by 10.5 sacks. Number one, Dante Fowler was not starting caliber. He could not go every freaking rep, and he wasn't going to crack the starting lineup.
Yeah.
He didn't do it in Dallas. He didn't do it here, and he's not doing it back in Dallas either.
Yeah.
He's a situational guy, and he is a pass rusher. He cannot stop the run to save his freaking life.
Yep. No, they definitely put pieces in place to stop run this year.
Yeah.
So Jeff is saying trade Terry for Michael Parsons because Michael Parsons is still kicking out there saying, I want to be traded. God, can you imagine who would be the head of the locker room if Michael Parsons came? Would it be?
Oh my gosh!
Would it be Wagner or Parsons?
Michael Parsons would be on the outside opposite Von Miller.
Doris Armstrong. Who would own the locker room between that? That's a great question. If we got Michael Parsons, who would own the locker room for the D? Who would be the captain?
I think the captain would still be Bobby Wagner.
Me too,
because he knows the system. And people would respect that. I even think Michael Parsons would respect that.
Yeah, me too.
And probably since this is also Bobby Wagner's last year, somebody else will emerge the following year.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, the other thing I found kind of interesting off of here is our two backup safeties, Percy Butler and Jeremy Reeves, that both received contract extensions. So it tells me that the safeties on this roster are pretty locked in. It's going to be Will Harrison, Percy Butler, and it's going to be Quan Martin and Jeremy Reeves. And I know I don't personally like that. I don't think Will Harris is an adequate replacement for Jeremy Chin, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, we'll see.
It's definitely a downgrade.
Yeah,
But
I think it's a downgrade in that position.
Yeah.
So that is like a lot. But one of the things I kind of want to say that I think that's interesting off of this is the dynamic on the defensive line. I've never heard that argument before. I found it this past week. I think it's at least interesting to consider rather than just shutting down the argument altogether, right?
I agree.
It does give us something to watch at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is exactly what the plan was. Beef up the run D. And they're going to take the pass D for what it is, right?
And so the 4 guys that we brought in, which the guys in orange are the guys that we brought in, right? Those are all run stuffer guys, with the exception of Von Miller, who can do both, right? Yeah. And the guys that we have been pretty much labeled as, because of last year's results of us being ranked 31st in the league, that these guys need a lot of improvement on run stopping, right? Because they just literally couldn't do it. So then I ran another thing about Von Miller already making a leadership impact on the defensive line. Kinlaw says that he loves the fact that Von Miller's there. He goes because he believes it's going to help the entire line from a technique standpoint and everything else like that become better.
It should. That's why I said coach for Von Miller, because his knowledge will improve everything, right?
Yeah, he'll be helping everybody, right?
That's a bonus. But his actual ability to play, that's what I question. But his ability to impact and train up other guys and teach them techniques and show them formations and what to expect. Oh, hell yeah. We just got a major coaching boost on the line. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would agree that probably half of his salary is being kind of like a coach. And the other half of the salary is taken to the field and helping the team out to try to win football games, right? So a lot of interesting stuff there on the defense, a lot of interesting stuff on the offense. I expect this to shape a lot. Of course, injuries really haven't started kicking in, but today's day 1 in practices, so injuries have a way of starting to creep its way in. There are other guys out there that are still on the street where phone calls can be made as guys go down with the injury. But we are at our 90-man roster, and we are all deep into it now. I will tell you what I like to do is I like to go back a slide to the offense, and I like for people in the comment section to tell me, who are you most excited about watching on this offense? Get your little fingers working, guys. Tell me, who are you excited about watching? Because a lot of people get real negative about what they don't like with this team. I want you to tell me what you like about them. What do you like? What are you looking forward to? Anybody got anything out there yet?
Nope.
Nobody saying anything for real?
I mean, they're building an air raid offense. The run game, I think it's going to be poor again this year. I really do. I just don't think the run game is going to improve much. But I think Jaden Daniels they built some more weapons around him, and they built some pass protection around him. So Jack is saying Crowley, Merritt, and Lane.
Say it again.
Jack is saying Crowley, Merritt, and Lane are the people to watch. Lane's in the number 2 slot right now.
Krosky, Merritt?
Yeah. He said Crowley, Merritt, but Crowley Jr.
Krosky.
Yeah.
Krosky, Merritt, Lane, and who else?
That's it.
Oh, those 2?
Yeah.
Krosky, Merritt, and Lane. I like those picks. I mean, the 2 rookies he's excited about seeing.
Lane, I think, has some potential.
Well, I mean, we saw the catch that he made. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So much so I want to play it again. Let's play it again.
It was a beautiful. Well, who do you give the credit to? Jaden for literally putting it exactly on the spot where he could catch it, or him for going up to get it?
Well, let's watch it and let everybody decide.
I mean, Jaden.
Look at this throw.
That's a stupid pass. I mean, honestly,
I think I have to agree with Sinstrel, though. I think his foot was out.
Yeah,
I
it
got to
was.
look at his pass again. Hold on. Let me
I
see
mean,
if I can.
but
pause
that
it.
ball was. I mean, you cannot get a better ball. So who am I going to credit on this play? Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he was definitely out.
Did his foot look out?
Yeah. His right foot is out of bounds. Yeah. But it's a great
We're
catch.
watching it. We're watching
I
it.
don't disagree. It was a bad pass because it should have never been thrown. It was a great catch because he got some air, but that ball was put in the right place. Yeah, he's out, clearly.
Yeah, look at his foot.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out.
Yeah, he's out. But
So
good on him
everybody's
for
looking at
bringing,
that like, "Ooh, what a great catch" and all that. But like in real NFL, dangerous throw, like you said, Large Sarge, dangerous throw. He catches over these two guys, but that's a catch in college. That's a touchdown in college. But guess what, Rook? That's not a touchdown in the NFL.
right.
You got, I mean, welcome to the NFL. You got to put 2 feet down in the NFL for that to be a completion. This ain't college football. So interesting.
But
right.
you know what? What you do see in that is great attention to the ball, right jump speed, right? Took it out of got over top of 2 defenders and double coverage. Those are all good points.
Yeah.
Great tracking to the ball. But I'm not going to give any credit to him because that should have never been a catch unless Jaden Daniels didn't hang it right there, which goes to his credit. How good is this guy? Dear
Yeah, he's
God.
phenomenal, man.
Dear God, do you see how he hung that ball right there?
Yeah, and it's also very early in training camp. I mean, their timing is going to only improve.
Yeah.
It's only going to become more precise. And I will tell you, like, they've been gushing over this guy, Lane. I think he is going to be one of those people that are just going to be extremely fun to watch.
Yeah, he's going to get some plays. He's too small. And I agree with Jeff. So he sucks. A real receiver would have gotten both feet in. Yeah, but I mean, the ball was purposely put there to be in the corner out of, over the boundary, right?
Yeah.
Any other place Jaden put that, it was a pick. So
yeah, and the only thing I would disagree with Jeff is it's a process, right? Because in college football, that's a touchdown. In the NFL, it's not, right? He's going to work more and more on toe drills, on catching sideline passes, back in the end zone passes, keeping your feet down, learning the ballerina part of what it takes to be a receiver.
Right.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of ballerina in wide receivers. Right.
I think that shows more about Jaden Daniels' talent than it does about him to pick the ball.
Yeah, and I also like that Jaden Daniels already has the confidence to throw him a ball into coverage like that. Now maybe he didn't care because it was just practice, but to put it up like that and trust that this young rookie's going to come down with it.
It's crazy.
That's interesting.
And for the rook to go up and get it, I mean, that's definitely complimentary. Totally agree, but I wouldn't be streaming that play because it's a sucky. You never do that in a real game. Throw the double coverage in the corner to your shortest guy. I don't think so.
No, typically you throw to your bigger guys.
Yeah. So
right.
But I mean, yeah, great. Ooh, wow.
I agree. All excited.
Yeah. But
it got Sinistro upset for a second there because he's like, no, he's out. And he's right. He's all right. But I liked how Jaden Daniels went over there and kind of pumped up Sinistro, like, dude, we got you, man. It was a good play. And
Jeff, you're crazy. Jeff goes, one thing for sure, he's making more money than all of us combined, and he still sucks. He ain't making more money than me, Jeff. I'm rich.
Yeah, don't listen to Large Sarge, man. He's he's the poorest rich man I know. But Lane is the smallest person too. Yeah, it's true. But there's a lot of small receivers, and we've had them on the team. Gary Clark was a small guy, right?
Yeah.
Santana Moss was a small guy, right?
We've had small guys. You put a Daniels on those guys, you're gonna make completions. You're gonna make touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're fast and you can get the ball, and people have a hard time keeping up with you, you're gonna make plays. Yep. So I don't mind the size so much. But in the end zone, you do definitely usually go with the taller guy.
Oh my God.
That has some leaping ability, right?
This is where I want to, I want a 6'5" receiver. You know what I mean? With some speed. You know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention their name.
Yeah. I got you.
But I need at least one of those guys on my team, with speed and reach, so I can do those plays.
Right. So a lot of people are very, very interested in Krosky Merritt. Jack thinks he's an Alvin Kamara kind of guy. Okay, I could see that. Um, I need to see more on him on film. What I could tell you is probably in preseason, we're going to see limited reps by Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. I think when it comes to the rest of the running backs, especially Jerry McNichols, Chris Rodriguez, both of those two had a lot of carries in the preseason last year.
Mhm.
I would expect more of that, and definitely a heavy dose of Krosky Merritt.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really gonna learn a lot about this kid by watching preseason games.
Yeah.
Right.
On the 8th, Friday night, baby. It's on.
Friday night,
baby.
A week from this Friday, we're gonna see everything we want to see about Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, as well as Ja'Cory Brooks.
Hey, Coach, you're going to be up here? Are we doing a watch party? You and me together?
I'm going to try to make it because I couldn't make it up to DC this week. I have a dental appointment tomorrow, so I couldn't come up to DC. I'm going to try next week to get up to DC.
All right. It might be a live cast with live commentary on the game. Not promising nothing, but we'll see what we can pull off for you guys.
I got to get all political here for a second. I got socialist health care called the VA, and that don't work. It takes me 3 months to get an appointment. So I'm taking this appointment tomorrow because if I don't,
you need to go.
I won't get an appointment. I won't get this crown put in until next year.
Yeah, get them teeth straightened up there, Coach.
I mean, I like food, man. I got to chew.
All right.
So that's it. So, all right, now on defense, I want to know who on defense excites you. Tell me, everybody, who on defense excites you. I will tell you, the person that kind of excites me on this defense is Trey Amos. But I will tell you another guy I'm going to watch like a hawk. I'm going to watch Von Miller anytime he's on the freaking field.
I'm
going to watch him like a hawk because I want to see what he really truly brings to the table.
I'll tell you who excites me, Coach. It's Marshawn Lattimore. There is a crap ton of hype out there right now that he is completely repaired and he's back to his game.
Ooh, yeah.
Lattimore is absolutely the eyeball for me because he's key. He is totally key. And if he's back to his old form, we got a secondary.
Wow. That is a really, really good point. I will tell you, I like that one. I will tell you another one that this question was asked to Coach Quinn on what player is he looking forward to the most who's making an impact, who might be flying under the radar a little bit. And you know what he said? Jordan Magee. Jordan Magee, he says in practice, has impressed him this offseason.
Wow.
And just his approach. He got injured last year. He struggled a little bit from that. He had a lot of high hopes. He ended up on IR. He came back strong, healthy, determined, hungry. And so far, he's been people are going to know who Jordan Magee is this year.
Okay.
According to Coach Quinn.
Okay.
I'm all right.
He knows some defense.
Hey,
Coach, your little sister says hi.
Hello.
And I gotta quote the great Dia Shakur. I gotta quote him. Man, hush them talking about them overpaid St. Juice. Thank you, Shaq.
Oh man, would you expect anything less from Shaq, who just cannot stand Lattimore?
Oh my God.
Overpaid St. Juice.
Oh my God.
For all y'all who don't know, I mean, he hated St. Juice with a freaking passion, and he thought Marshawn Lattimore was St. Juice Part 2.
He just reamped it on top of Lattimore. And we agree with him based on his performance last year, but all signs and all news around Lattimore this preseason is He's got the stuff back. He's recovered. And he's
got his
hot.
mojo.
Yep. All American Street Rods, thanks for showing up. Woo!
Woo! All American Street Rods. All right. Well, hey, everybody. I will tell you, we're going to get more news from training camp. You're going to want to pay attention to us because I tell you what, next week, I guarantee you we're going to have some updates. Some of these positions, we're going to get more news on more players. We are going to be ramping up for our very first preseason game on the road against the New England Patriots. And I tell you what, I cannot wait until it, because football's back, baby.
Woohoo! And I'm expecting a smash mouth game and a win.
All right. And this is Football Psych, baby. We got to wrap it up, and we are out of here.
Have a great